Good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Julie Choi, and I lead marketing for artificial intelligence at Intel. I live in Silicon Valley. I've worked there for the past, I don't know, maybe 15 years, hard to believe. Really pleased to be with you today in beautiful Cologne. I actually started in Munich and went to my first ever Oktoberfest, so I'm a little bit still recovering. What an amazing experience. Let's get started. We're going to talk about today some use cases that I've seen over the past couple years of working on AI at Intel. These use cases are going to come from all around the world, and we're going to actually have some of our customers and partners join us via video, so let's just have a really interactive and fun time. I think the exciting thing about AI, when we really think about it, is the opportunity, right? This is one of the largest problem-solving opportunities to come into computer science. And it's not just computer science, it's actually a mix of math, physics, and biology, and all of these disciplines coming together. And what we see in the AI opportunity that makes it so exciting is the diversity of data that's available to us. So usually at the heart of an AI application, we're talking about speech or vision, senses that are very common to us as humans and for our brains to process. But now we need to teach systems to really understand these inputs. And so we need new types of tooling. And that's what also is making AI possible, is this new set of tools that's coming up from the ground up, designed for artificial intelligence. I'm talking about the hardware and the software tools that really come together to form a full stack approach to developing AI applications. And these applications are truly global. And when I say global, I mean global. So today we're going to walk through 6 examples from roughly 3 continents. And I'm just really excited to show you the diversity of the types of use cases that we're seeing with AI in the real world. So let's start with the first example today, which comes to us from North America, specifically Hollywood. How many of you here have heard or seen the movie The Meg? Okay, 1. That's amazing. I don't know whether to say congratulations or I'm sorry. No, it's an amazing movie. This is an action blockbuster from Hollywood that was produced this past summer in August. And I think what a lot of people don't know about the Meg is the central character is this prehistoric shark called the megalodon. And this megalodon was actually created and rendered using machine learning. Working with design, visual effects artists and developers at Scanline and Ziva, the studio was able to create the shark in record time. So why don't we hear from some of the folks at Ziva and Scanline and see how this was done.
When working on creatures, the very important aspect, if not the most important aspect, is to create an underlying machinery that triggers all the different aspects of anatomy at the right time. It's a very complex relation between all of these different aspects.
The ways that we use Intel Xeon scalable processors is to generate amazing training data. So like if you look at like all the complex motion that you see on the gills, like all the wave propagation that you see, all that stuff is a product of running simulations using our software.
All right, so what did it take to render this very photorealistic image? I know a lot of us here work in the design world and bring those designs together in a mixed reality or AR, VR environments. In this case, it took 2 to 3 million images, or many, many millions of images in 2D, 3D, being processed on tens of thousands of CPU cores. Specifically, the machine learning processing that it took place on Intel Xeon scalable processors. So at the top of the talk, we talked about AI being about a convergence between data and tooling. In this case, the data are these images, and the tooling was Xeon scalable. And at the end of the day, we were able to save so much time in rendering the Meg. So the second example is going to come to us from South America, specifically the country of Chile, and a company called AcuHealth. AccuHealth is a major provider of healthcare management, specifically for chronic diseases like diabetes and heart health. And we were so fortunate to partner with AccuHealth on a number of different initiatives with some of their physicians to help their patients manage situations like diabetes and heart health much more proactively. So before diving in, I'd like to share with you some of the perspectives of AccuHealth through Dr. Xavier and others in this incredible use case.
Chronic care is a problem today because it concerns 1/3 of a world population and it's consuming up to 85% of healthcare cost. AccuHealth is a chronic care management company and we work with a combination of technology and very high patient engagement.
Using artificial intelligence, predictive modeling, machine learning techniques, we can develop predictive algorithms that allow us to anticipate the problems and act before there are bigger problems. We give our patients a customized kit consisting of different kinds of biometric sensors and a smart Intel-based monitoring device that connects to our virtual hospital.
Every day, they are going to perform an e-checkup. By doing that, they are going to send us a lot of objective information coming from the sensors.
We are using Intel Xeon scalable processors to run our artificial intelligence and predictive modeling. The Xeon processors are really good in inference. Patient data is securely sent to our data center. We use models to make inference and predict what is going to happen.
And solve the problem with a very easy solution before it becomes critical.
We can communicate with them, we can stabilize them at home and prevent an emergency room visit.
Emocionalmente se me ha elevado mucho la presión. A los 2-3 minutos ya tengo un llamado de la empresa dándome algunas instrucciones.
There is a huge team that is always looking on how to help them, on how to have a better quality of life.
Me cambió en que ya no ando tan estresada, que me cuido más porque en realidad es mi salud y lo demás se va a complementando.
Porque yo creo que la gente de mi edad y más, todos queremos vivir el máximo de tiempo posible, pero con la mejor calidad de vida.
Working with Intel, we are doing this huge revolution. I feel much better doctor now that I'm reaching thousands of people every day than treating one by one.
So ultimately, AI in this case, in the case of AccuHealth, is scaling a really life-saving service, of course the human service, of what the physician is providing to these patients. In this way, I really see AI as augmenting humans. And we're doing this through sensors that are in these endpoint devices like blood pressure meters or diabetes machines. And these tiny processors that are in those machines, in this case Intel Atom chips, are then collecting the data and then sending the data up to the cloud. And then that data is then processed in the form of deep learning and machine learning models through another processor, in this case, again, the Intel Xeon processor. So you see a lot of movement between the data from the device all the way up to the cloud, ultimately coming back to the patient and reducing the number of visits to the hospital and the types of, from an industry perspective, saving the insurance companies a lot of money, right? So this is a really great example of healthcare AI. So let's come to Europe. So the next two examples are going to come from the Europe and the Middle East. The first example comes to us from a company called Taboola. How many in here have heard of Taboola? Anyone? Okay, so Taboola is actually an Israeli unicorn, net worth around 1 billion right now. And it's the company that's powering many of the content recommendations that are fueling what we see in our own digital experiences. Taboola is a software platform that serves about 30 billion recommendations per day. And AI is really at the heart of Taboola's service. How is Taboola able to do this? It's doing this type of 30 billion a day recommendations through the help of NLP models. So NLP is natural language processing, also natural language understanding. And it's able to develop these deep learning models that are matching the content to the specific requirements or preferences of a user. And at the end of the day, it's really about using high-performance hardware that's going to train and deploy that natural language model across your global infrastructure. So I had the pleasure of meeting the VP of IT at Taboola a few weeks ago in San Francisco when he joined me for another talk that we did. And he shared that he was able to experience really amazing high-performance, real-time AI deployment on Xeon Scalable because of roughly 2.5x increase in the performance of the hardware that was enabled through software optimization. In this case, we're optimizing the hardware to run TensorFlow models. And so that's what's very exciting about the interaction between software and hardware right now. I mean, regardless of what hardware you have, you can actually tune it to run AI through the software optimizations that you can do. And a lot of these software optimizations, such as the TensorFlow, are purely open source and free. The next example from Europe comes to us from a company that many of you have probably heard of. Who has heard of Novartis? All right. Yay for brand marketing. Yes, Novartis is a very famous pharmaceutical leader headquartered in Switzerland. And Novartis is actually, it's innovating the way that they're doing drug discovery and development through the help of deep learning. Why? Well, basically what we're able to do is cut time down at the end of the day because we're able to now analyze incredibly dense, large images of cellular structure that Novartis is mapping to various diseases and opportunities to cure those diseases with new types of medicines. And this is all being done by deep learning training. So what Novartis is doing is training models on the Intel Xeon scalable processor and really able to find the different types of new approaches to addressing disease much more quickly. Given the size of the file, the way that it's processed through the CPU is incredibly efficient for Novartis. So we're seeing a lot of exciting momentum there. So for our fifth use case, we're going to travel now to Asia, specifically to the amazing country of China. This example comes to us from the company Baidu. Who in here has heard of Baidu? Yes. Okay. So Baidu is really one of the world's largest search and information companies, which automatically makes it one of the world's most exciting AI companies. And Baidu and Intel, we've been working together for the past 10 years. And a few weeks ago, we shared an update on our collaboration. And that's some of the work we're doing with Baidu to power the AI in their Baidu cloud. So a lot of AI applications today in the real world are developed in the cloud. And this is just one example. As you all probably know, China is rapidly developing. There's a tremendous amount of construction going on. And one proof of concept that we're working on is the ability to see the flow of construction vehicles and the materials that are in transit. And we can do this now through cameras that are installed on these trucks that can see, through the help of computer vision software in the form of this tool called OpenVino Toolkit. This is a software development kit that allows you to see what's going on that construction vehicle. Are the materials making it to their destination? Are they falling off the truck? Do we need to address that, in real time? So instead of wasting time, after the fact and cleaning up, we can now address issues much more quickly. So the computer vision is aided by the software in the form of OpenVino. There's also software optimized here in the form of math kernel libraries for deep neural networks. And all of that software is working to help you get the most out of the hardware, which is in this case, again, Intel Xeon. And these tools are powering the ability to process computer vision data in the Baidu cloud. So we're at our last example. Today's final example of AI in the real world comes to us from the Great Wall of China. So who here has been to the Great Wall? Amazing. Yes. Okay. So before I came to Germany for this talk, I had thought that the Great Wall was one of the most life-defining moments of my journey so far. But then I went to Oktoberfest in Munich, and it was like, I don't know, I think Oktoberfest might be the latest life-defining moment. But honestly, I think hiking up that Great Wall this past April was one of the most meaningful moments of my journey so far. And I mean, I went up there with some coworkers after a work trip. And then I realized soon thereafter that Intel and the foundation in China that's trusted with the preservation of this wall, we're working together to preserve the wall. How are we doing that? It's actually through the use of drone technology, so that we're flying these really powerful drones above the wall, and we're mapping the wall. We're taking pictures of it to basically then identify potential cracks. It's like we've created a crack identification model, and that is the AI that's going to help us fix brick by brick the issues in the wall that, and then ultimately keep it a treasure for much longer. So why don't we take a quick look at the story in the words of some of the people working on the ground on this great project.
中国长城是世界上最重要的地标之一，也是一座有着上千年历史的文化遗产。今天，长城处于一个非常危险的状态，急需修缮。如果我们不采取行动，在未来它的情况会越来越糟糕。
新技术让我们重新定义了怎么样修复长城。 英特尔的目标是和武汉大学还有基金会共同合作，使用 AI 技术和深度学习技术保护建构长城。
建构长城是明长城，因为长城跨度很大，首先需要做长城的调查。
在这个项目中，我们用英特尔猎鹰8+无人机采集了上万张高清图片，通过3D 重建算法生成了高精度数字模型。我们将结合 AI 技术进行破损检测和数字化修复。我们知道，在3D 重建和修复过程中包含多个算法步骤。在市场上的解决方案中，英特尔自强平台 是能够高效且低成本的支持这么多算法的唯一选择，让我们能够使用最有效的计算技术手段来完成这一任务。
英特尔提供的 MKL 软件库，它能够满足我们项目中需要的大规模计算的性能和稳定性的要求。在未来，我们是计划使用英特尔提供的 AI 技术，结合长城高精度的数字模型，为长城修复提供智能的参考。有了更好的科技和更为精准的数据， 我们创造了更快、更高效的解决问题的办法，让类似于文化遗产保护基金会这样的机构能够解决原来不能解决的困难。
All right. So we've gone through 6 examples through 3 different amazing continents, and I hope that you've seen that AI is truly a global phenomenon right now that's transforming and in some cases preserving, some amazing treasures. And ultimately, I think what we gather here for is to make your vision real. Perhaps some of you are thinking about bringing AI into your AR, VR, and mixed reality projects. Can I see a show of hands to see how many of you are thinking about that? All right. So I think that, you know, AR and VR have been around a little bit longer than AI has. So we're all kind of like the new cool emerging technologies. Why don't we work together to really, you know, talk about the types of new experiences we can build in this industry together? Please do keep in mind data is at the heart of your AI application. Get to know the tooling, in this case, you know, processors like the CPU, so powerful. And think globally. Think about creating applications that really matter to people all around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.